Hello, Tony Palmer here from Enterprise Strategy Group. Today, we'll be talking about our validation of the economic benefits of AWS Contact Center Intelligence solutions and how they help organizations add AI and ML to their contact centers to elevate customer experience, engagement, and efficiency. In today's business landscape, it's really essential to engage with customers to resolve issues quickly and effectively. Across industries, contact centers are where many organizations interface most with their customers and their constituents, and all of them must address some common challenges. There's long hold times, high operational costs associated with long resolution times, a lack of data-driven insights to improve quality management, and high agent turnover. Our research finds that improving the customer experience and increasing employee productivity are among the top considerations for justifying IT investments to organizations' business management teams. In addition, our customer experience research reveals that the overwhelming majority of respondents agree that a positive experience makes them more likely to make another purchase, and nearly 2/3 say just one bad experience will lead them to consider switching to a competitor. And this is critical. Most organizations we surveyed are turning to technologies like chatbots and automation to improve the customer experience. While the data that they need to solve many of these problems is available at every stage of the customer journey, the volume of that data is so large that organizations can't analyze it manually. So they're increasingly using artificial intelligence technologies to get a handle on their customer experience data. With that context, it's not surprising that AI, ML, business intelligence, and analytics are among the top technologies that organizations expect to increase their spending on over the next 12 months. Enterprise Strategy Group examined how AWS provides innovation for contact centers, from building chatbots to smartly routing calls, near real-time agent assist, and post-call analytics. AWS Contact Center Intelligence Solutions, or CCI, use a combination of AWS machine learning powered services for text-to-speech, translation, intelligent search, conversational AI, transcription, and language comprehension capabilities. Customers who already have a contact center can use AWS ML-powered CCI solutions to provide automated self-service capabilities, analyze calls in real time to assist their agents, and learn from their contact center interactions using post-call analytics. So we talked to real-world customers to learn how they used AWS CCI solutions to improve customer experience, boost agent productivity, improve operational efficiencies, and gain conversational insights by adding AI capabilities to their contact centers. Some built it themselves, some engaged an AWS consulting partner to help them build it, and some accelerated deployment with a turnkey solution from an AWS ISV partner. AWS CCI solutions are designed to improve customer experience, boost agent productivity, improve operational efficiencies, and gain conversational insights, right? And it does this by adding AI ML capabilities into customers' existing contact centers without requiring any machine learning expertise. Organizations with an existing contact center can benefit from AWS machine learning powered solutions across three main contact center use cases. AWS CCI solutions provide numerous automated self-service capabilities. Organizations can analyze calls in real time to assist agents and alert supervisors to potential issues. And post-call analytics helps organizations learn from insights pulled out of their contact center interactions. CCI solutions make it possible for customers to quickly deploy AI into their existing contact center workflows or build completely new ones. Modern organizations need to be able to engage with their customers. They need to provide excellent customer care and resolve issues quickly. Enterprise Strategy Group validated that AWS CCI solutions can help organizations drastically improve their customer experience while reducing effort, saving money, and driving growth. Our analysis revealed that AWS CCI solutions can help organizations add artificial intelligence and machine learning to their current on-premises or cloud contact center infrastructure quickly and effectively. Among other benefits, CCI solutions have been impactful in improving customer experience with self-service virtual agent solutions increasing agent productivity with the real-time call analytics and agent assist capabilities, providing comprehensive automated insight into customer interactions that reduces costs dramatically and can provide opportunities for increased revenues. So today we have the privilege of speaking with two customers who've integrated AWS CCI solutions into their existing contact centers and are seeing these benefits I just described in the real world. So with us are Dustin Hubbard, President of Archway Software, and Nikki Sussman, Senior Data Scientist at Principal Financial Group. We'll be talking about the importance of leveraging AI ML for customer experience workflows and the economic benefits that they saw integrating AWS CCI solutions into their existing contact centers. Dustin and Nikki have key insights for both executives and practitioners interested in improving the customer experience and achieving better customer loyalty, less churn, and reduced operational costs. So, Dustin, let's start with you. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself and about Archway Software's history and mission?
Sure, Tony. Thanks. It's great to be here today. I'm currently the president of Archway Software, and Archway actually began out as an innovation lab inside of Washington Federal Bank about 4 years ago. Our goal at the time was to actually help the bank deliver incredible customer experiences using modern technologies. And the work we were doing was deemed so successful that the organization actually decided to spin us out into our own software and create Archway, which enables us to bring the same technology to other banks and credit unions across the country. So currently, I'm serving as the president of Archway Software.
Thanks. Can you share with us at a high level how you think executives should be looking at using AI and ML to apply analytics to their businesses and why contact centers are such a great place to start?
Yeah, I think when applying any technology, you first want to start with the problem space and then determine what technologies exist that can help you. So the vastness of AI and machine learning is so big that I find it can be helpful to break it down into different areas. You don't have to be an expert, but it is helpful to understand what is possible with AI and machine learning today. So for example, natural language processing or predictive modeling or sentiment analysis. These are all things that even if you don't know how they work from a technical perspective, as long as you kind of understand those things are possible, it will help you think about how you can apply it to an area like a contact center. So when I think of a contact center specifically, there's just a trove of information that can be leveraged. Why are customers calling? How could you help them support themselves better if you knew the reasons why they're calling, so you'd have a better idea of how you can apply technology like AI or ML to help them resolve their problem, maybe without even talking to an agent. And additionally, you could think of things like what's the mindset of the customer before they even get to an agent. So if you're running real-time sentiment analysis, you would know who's on the other end of the call. And if you knew sort of what their particular disposition is at that moment in time, that's actually very insightful for the person who's about to pick up the call.
Yeah, that makes great sense. I'd love to hear a bit more about how Archway is using AWS CCI solutions and how you're helping Washington Federal become more personalized and more engaged with their customers.
In our case, a lot of customers call the bank daily still. Some are still calling just to get their account balances or hear the recent transactions. Other are calling for more pressing questions, maybe how to make a loan payment or to talk to a representative about maybe opening a new account. But I think everybody knows that contact center experiences typically aren't very good. You call in and there's a long list of menus to navigate, and as soon as you select an option, there's another long list of menus to navigate, and it seems to go on and on. Sometimes you're just trying to get to somebody, and other times you're just trying to solve the problem. But the fact of the matter is, typically that experience isn't that pleasant. So what I thought about was, how can I use these newer technologies to really help our clients engage with us better? And one thought I had was, knowing that things like speech to text and text to speech existed, shouldn't I be able to have someone call in and just simply state why they're calling? Shouldn't they be able to just say, I want to hear my account balance, and have the machine learning know what that meant and how to serve that, as opposed to making the person press 1 or 2 or 3 and then 1 or 2 or 3 again? If I need to talk to an agent, shouldn't I be able to just say, give me to an agent and have it immediately put me in touch with the person? So when I did this for WAFED, the intention was never to make it harder to talk to an agent. It's actually to make it easier when you needed that, but to also do a lot better job with inferring why they're calling and to actually help them self-serve when possible. And we did this in 2 ways. One was, there are different ways that you're going to take inbound requests from customers. One would be voice-based, right? So what I call voice banking, you're calling into the call center through a phone number. Another is chat-based, where you're chatting through maybe a chatbot. And so I felt like if I could use technologies like Amazon Transcribe, Amazon Lex, I should be able to like stitch the whole journey together, where when you first make that initial inquiry, we're just simply asking you, why are you contacting us? We're translating that into an action. We're using things like Amazon Lex to figure out how do I solve the reason that they're calling? So if you're saying, I'm calling because I want to hear my account balance, then I immediately know I need to authenticate you. So in our case, we use voice biometrics to authenticate you. And then I can simply make an API call and return back your account balance. Additionally, I realized there were things with like Amazon sentiment analysis engine, where again, if I can see what the reason they're calling is, but also what their state of mind is, I should be able to provide that to the contact center by passing that information to our call center tool. We're using TalkDesk, such that if the customer does indeed talk to an agent, the agent kind of has an idea of who's coming in on the other end of the line. So really what I try to do is think about it from, what am I trying to solve? How can I solve it? And then what technologies exist to bring that all together.
Well, that's fantastic. I mean, honestly, what you're describing is solving problems that, I think anyone who's ever interacted with any financial institution's contact center has experienced, right? And experiences all the time. So, and this is hugely important. And you talked about a lot of different things that are going on, a lot of moving parts. Can you talk about the timeline of the initial project from your inception in your mind to actual go live?
Yeah, I mean, I would say it's probably about 6 months from the time that the idea popped into my head to the time we had something in production. I would say it took me about 8 weeks to sort of tease out really what I wanted to do, talk to, in my case, my Amazon Web Services sort of counterparts within the company to help me think about, what am I trying to do and what are the right technologies to apply to that problem. And then once we kind of had clarity on how do we tie that in with a call center provider, with the Amazon technologies, now let's put the team together to build it. And that was kind of three vendors, 3 partners coming together, right? That you had me and the bank, you had Amazon, and you had TalkDesk all working together on Slack channels, really developing the solution. So it was not really didn't take that long to get there.
That's amazing. So do you have any insight you could share into the actual, business or economic impact that WAFED has seen so far? Are there any KPIs or metrics that you can share with us?
Sure. I mean, probably one of the most impressive numbers I've seen is we already have over 30% of inbound callers now are registered using their voice authentication, which means that they can do much more self-servicing through that. And so the adoption of voice biometrics has been good. That's important because it helps open up more self-servicing options, like the ability to do transfer your money. Another one that I thought was really interesting is when people are calling into the call center and they're using their voice, if they're voice authenticated, only about 8% of the time they ask you to speak to an agent. If they haven't done that and they're just calling into the call center, about 50% of the time they're asking to speak to an agent. And so it's really indicative of the fact that by applying all the right technologies and allowing customers to self-service, they'll actually do that in a much more effective way. So that's helping your call center be able to service the customers with the most pressing needs, while allowing the customers that are simply asking, let's say, for the routing number of the bank, to be able to do that on their own.
Yeah, and that's just fantastic. I mean, it's one of the biggest frustrations anyone has is, um, you know, um, calling in for something that they need, trying to authenticate themselves by entering an account number. Then that doesn't get transferred over to the live person when you need that live person, and just so that really speaks to what AWS CCI solutions are doing for you, helping you tie all that stuff together and make it, really just a unified, single, smooth experience for your customers. So I have a question for you. Looking forward, how is it going to look for WAFED as they progress on their journey? I mean, what's next?
Well, the great news is now I have two channels using this. I have the voice channel that I've talked more about, but I also have the chat channel. But we take both of those channels and we actually examine the information that comes in, because every conversation that happens either with the voice to the bot or the chat to the bot gets captured in our Amazon data lake. And so that actually helps inform what we're going to build next. So to give some examples, people are calling to activate their debit cards oftentimes. So that's a enabling functionality that we'll start doing, which is you should be able to call in and say, I need to activate my card. And it just says, what are the last four of the card you're done? Other people are calling to prevent, to report fraud, right? And so how can I start doing more of those things to, again, you're trying to look at the reason people are calling and then apply solutions to help them better self-service. So it's very data-driven as we decide what the future roadmap looks like.
Thanks, Dustin. Really great insights there. Nikki, could I ask you now to talk a little bit about Principal Financial Group and your role there?
Yeah, absolutely. So Principal Financial Group was founded in 1879 as an insurance company, and today we're a member of the Fortune 500 and a global investment management leader. We currently use Genesis in our contact centers, and we process approximately 10 million calls annually. I personally have been with Principal for about 2 years, and I'm a senior data scientist and the technical lead for our language AI team, where we specialize in natural language processing related initiatives. Specifically, we're focusing on the contact center intelligence initiatives right now, which is why I'm here today.
If I understand correctly, Principal's contact centers are handling about 10 million calls a year. Can you talk about some of the challenges that presented and what drew you to AWS CCI solutions to solve some of them?
Yeah, absolutely. So here at Principal, we are a global company, and our number one focus is always on creating that seamless and hyper-personalized customer experience. We realized early on that our customer contact centers actually exhibited a lack of visibility and a depth of understanding into the data behind our customer journeys. Like Dustin had said, most customers don't really stop at a single interaction with a company. They often navigate through numerous channels. For us, that includes web browsers, chats, email, telephone calls. All of these communications are attempting to achieve their goals. And from start to finish, no matter what channel they're coming in on, the customers demand that this journey is seamless, especially when navigating between channels. And so Principal is really working to unify and improve our customer experience by enabling those data-driven modernization decisions, by conducting those enterprise-scale, near real-time analytics on our customer journey and experience. We're using approved recorded customer contact center interactions, telephony metadata, and additional omni-channel interactions to enable those insights. One thing we found really early on in our journey is that customer feedback from traditional surveys and user interviews actually places the burden of understanding that customer journey back on the customer, which is something we didn't want to do. In addition, the data gathered by those traditional channels is often missing a lot of context, which actually allows us to truly pinpoint and act on that customer feedback. So by utilizing and adopting different CCI technology platforms, we aim to find insights from the existing natural interactions, those unstructured, unsolicited interactions, such as call transcripts, email exchanges. And this really removes the burden from our customers. And so by using that data, we want to understand where our customer experiences can be most improved, We want to generate those actionable insights and prioritize and complete work to act on the needed changes from those insights. And so by using that interaction data, we really wanted to measure the impact of changes we're making, enable ongoing work to reduce customer effort, and build that improved customer journey. And honestly, we had a lot of problems we're trying to solve. But the second one we really wanted to solve was to understand the customer experience from that time delivery perspective. And so from there, we wanted to determine where we could improve our digital experiences. And by improving the customer experience and the customer retention on our websites or in our IVRs while maintaining our first class customer experience, we can recognize those more timely cost savings in our contact centers. And so by starting the investigation of CCI solutions, we were drawn to AWS, their post-call analytics solution, because it had that out-of-the-box extensibility that enabled us to really leverage it in our contact centers.
Yeah, and it sounds like where you're going is your goal is to provide a true omni-channel customer experience, right? And so you're using multiple AWS CCI solutions to address that. So there is something though that when I hear the term omni-channel, right? I'd like to ask you to talk a little bit about the concept of omni-channel hop, right? So what that is and how you're using CCI solutions to understand and address it.
Absolutely. So we have an extremely diverse set of customer types here at Principal, different demographics, and we want to ensure that best possible experience for each customer. To do that, we need to have the communication channels that actually meet the needs of each individual. So for example, I personally prefer to work with businesses over a web page or a chat, text or email interactions. But we recognize that individuals have different preferences on how they prefer to conduct business, and that's often related to their demographics, which is why we're investing so much time, effort, and money into ensuring that each contact channel that we offer operates flawlessly and undergoes that constant improvement. But we recognize that one channel doesn't always meet the needs of our customers. What happens when a customer cannot complete their tasks on their preferred platform? If a customer begins a transaction on our webpage, but then has to start a chat or an email or a phone call before that transaction is complete. Or if a phone call completes and there's follow-up emails, when a customer begins crossing these channels, that's when we start realizing this omni-channel crossover, this omni-channel hop. And we're really interested in figuring out why that occurs. One example that I like to use is a customer initiating a 401k withdrawal on our webpage and then having issues or questions, concerns with that process and calling our contact center. Not only does the multiple communication points waste our customers' time, it also likely increases their frustration. And it also points out the inadequacies with our web experience. What did the customer want to accomplish online that they could not given our existing platform? So utilizing those AWS CCI solutions, other CCI platforms, and our homegrown natural language models, we want to determine why the customer called in. What was the topic of the call? What was the intent? What issues are they calling about so that we can compile those interactions at scale, determine the weak points in our customer journey, and in some cases, what the customer expected and fell short. And from there, we're able to start beginning the process of fixing those issues, improving that customer experience.
Right, and that's key. I think you're not just providing a better experience up front, but you're just engendering continuous improvement. Right, always looking at
Absolutely.
how we can make this smoother, how can we make this faster and easier for our customers, ultimately make them happier.
Exactly. Customer experience is always our number one goal here.
Yeah. Can you talk a little bit about any of the business or economic impacts that Principal Financial Group has seen so far? Are there any KPIs or metrics you could share with us?
Yeah. So what we look at when we look at our contact centers is, again, that customer experience. And so looking at 2023, we have numerous goals for our contact centers. The two primary goals that we want to share, that we want to improve our customer satisfaction scores while decreasing that perceived effort of our customers. And so those two factors are going to continue to drive our key initiatives as we look forward at our upcoming KPIs.
That's awesome. Thank you so much. Thanks very much for the conversation. I'd like to just turn now to ask each of you just a final question. Dustin, I'll start with you. Do you have any advice for executives to help them jumpstart their journey to modernize their contact centers?
Sure. I mean, look, my recommendation is to really think about what the dream scenario would be. If you could do anything to change how you support your customers, start there first. Just assume that the technology will exist to make that possible, that your imagination could become possible. And once you have that ideal state in mind, take your time to find the best partners and with the best technologies to support that vision. Far too often, I see people just follow suit of what they've seen before. And so they never really stop and just expand their imagination and think, what would I want it to be? Let the technologists help you figure out how to put that together. Don't start with the solution, start with what start with the problem, start with being a big thinker. That'd be my recommendation.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And Nikki, how about you? Do you have any insights you can share with practitioners out there? Any pitfalls to avoid? Anything like that?
Absolutely. So, working at Principal, we are a financial company, we're an insurance company, and I'm sure that Dustin has the same constraints when we talk about data security and privacy. We treat our customer data with the strictest security and governance practices and regulations. And when that happens, we often get stuck in this loop. We have to recognize that we are a customer centric company. And without innovation in our technology, that's not possible. Without experimentation, we cannot grow. And without understanding every aspect of our data, we can't make informed data driven decisions. I bring this up because practitioners, especially myself, can actually view data security and experimentation as counterintuitive processes, and they don't have to be. So I guess my words of wisdom are look for opportunities to experiment and innovate while partnering with those security resources and your executive resources. And don't be afraid to ask why repeatedly until you get to the root of your data, of that problem. I also think it's very important to educate yourself on every aspect of the solutions that you're building, and don't be content to be just an engineer, just a manager, or just a data scientist, because truly thinking outside of that box and going the extra mile to learn is what's going to set your platform aside. Otherwise, reach out to others for help and questions. Our business partners at AWS were some of the biggest enablers of the rapid success in deploying our solutions. And we would have a much more difficult journey without their knowledge and guidance.
Thank you, everyone, for joining us today. And thank you, Dustin. Thank you, Nikki. It was a fantastic talk. If anyone would like to learn more, please visit go.aws/CCI.
Thanks, Tony. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.